What's up, everyone? My name is Furrukh. I'm making this YouTube video to tell you about how I went from being a doctor in business to trying to do YouTube full time. So it's going to be a fully transparent video. I'm just going to be telling you about why I'm on this journey, why I've decided on YouTube, how I got here. So let's get into it. So I'm a first generation immigrant. I was born in Pakistan and I've been in California since I was the age of 4. I've been there ever since. I went to high school there. I went to my undergrad in SoCal. I did my master's, my MBA in SoCal as well. And now I'm currently in my doctorate of business program, which I will hopefully be completing within like 6 months. And so that you get that crisis that comes in on what's next, what should I do? And quite frankly, I wasn't sure. I've always looked at business as that's what I want to do. And over the years, you realize how broad that is. Let me tell you a little bit more about business and kind of where I come from in terms of business. I started my first business when I was in high school, and that was just selling candies to everyone else in school. Made a little bit of good money, so that was really nice. And then come junior year in high school is where I actually started my first kind of bigger business. I used to go to the swap meet. I would go pick up t-shirts, AAA t-shirts. I would rip off the tags and I would screen print my own designs. At the time, that business was all focused on urban style clothing, but with like a positive twist to it. So it was always thought-provoking and positive is kind of what I focus on naturally. I was also in the business academy in my high school, and so all my classes are geared towards business. I've just naturally always been so intrigued by it. Business is just something that anyone can jump into. There's no reason why anyone can't. And it's just one of those things where you get out what you put in, and that's kind of how I do everything in my life. Is I try to put the best I possibly can in so I could get the most out of it. So starting that first business, I ended up selling it when I was a junior in college in my undergrad. I used to be up late nights. I got it to a point where I was up late nights talking to Chinese suppliers on Alibaba before it got super popular, and getting all my product imported, getting it imported, packaged, ready to go, and I would just go sell it to some other stores. And then eventually someone picked it up and bought my business when I was a junior in college. And then from there, I did an internship at Target. I did an internship at their distribution center, and I ended up getting a job there as an operations manager after graduating while I did my master's at the same time. So I do have my MBA. Took a huge pay cut to go learn more. I really wanted to be more hands-on. I was at Target and I felt the business was great, the people were great. It just didn't seem like the right environment for me long term. I like to kind of dictate my own terms. I really want to continue pushing forward. I don't want to get stuck and wait for someone else to give me that pass of approval so I can move forward. I like to go at my own pace, sometimes slower, sometimes way faster than most people. So I didn't want someone to gatekeep in a way. And so I wanted to know what's really out there, what more can I do? So I took a pay cut to go become a general manager at a fast food restaurant. Not glorious, not glamorous, not the most fun thing I've ever done, but it was a fantastic learning experience where I got to be really hands-on as a general manager and just do everything. I got to interact with everybody. I have done fast food as a cashier. I've done it as a cook before. So it's funny because I've always told myself I didn't want to go into fast food ever. And that's the one kind of role I've spent probably the most amount of time in is fast food. I actually ended up liking the very fast-paced lifestyle of it. So that was very nice. But it gave me that hands-on experience that I was really looking for. And I got to deal with everything. I got to deal with the people. I got to deal with hiring and firing. I got to deal with scheduling. I got to deal with kind of product planning. What kind of promotions are coming up? How do I motivate my team? How do I deal with customer complaints? What's going to be the best avenue for growth as a business? What should we be focusing on? Why do we keep losing a bunch of people? What are they not liking? Why are we losing a bunch of team members? What do they not enjoy? So it helped a lot in terms of asking the right questions and asking more questions. You realize you really don't know anything until you ask. And from there, I actually started my own business. Ended up buying a smoke shop and jumping into the smoke shop. The business did really well. The business has been doing really well, but by no means is it easy. It's 12 plus hours a day. It's been 7 years now as of making this video. So it takes a lot of work, but fortunately I do have a strong family foundation with me. We all work it together, but there's a lot to be said about just how much dedication it takes to do anything in life. Working 12 hours a day for yourself, when in reality I don't even want to work 8 hours for someone else. It's crazy that I would want to do 12 for myself and earn even less. So going from that to later buying a gym, and then it was a Anytime Fitness franchise, and great in the beginning. COVID hit, I lost the gym during the COVID. Phenomenal team, absolutely appreciative of all of them. Great learning experience through all of them as well. And after that, it was just kind of getting everything back together. Like, okay, like what do I do now? I've tried this business. One business is going well. It's still going, but there's constant dynamics around the tobacco industry, right? Everybody's constantly after it. I personally don't do any kind of that stuff. So for me, it was just the business, right? So when you look at the economic conditions of that industry, you realize that it's actually going under very quickly, and they're going to be squeezed out. And so long term, I knew that that's not the right business for me. I can't be in there for very long, so I need to look at other avenues. So recently we opened up Dazzle Beauty, which is a brand new beauty business. It's focused on affordable cosmetics. It's dazzle-beauty.com. And that's just kind of the latest venture of trying. Right now we just have kind of a general homepage on there, but on the back end we're working on an e-commerce side of everything. And it's just it's been kind of a whirlwind of emotions. My very first grand opening. That was a awesome experience, considering my first business was pre-existing. It's already been around, so I just took over an existing customer base. But to build a brand new customer base, that's a whole lot more work than you would even anticipate. But just to keep it real with you, it's a roller coaster, but it's fun. I learn every single day from it. It is something I would never trade any of these experiences that I've had. And this is just to give you kind of that real information of where I'm coming from, who I am, as I jump into this channel. Because for me, always, I've been an avid YouTube watcher for many years, watching all the finance channels, watching all of the other finance gurus kind of take off, and it's just been, why not me as well? And I want to put in that effort to provide my perspective on different things, on my experience, on starting these businesses, on taxes. I have a book this big that's just on taxes and tax write-offs, and kind of, really how do you properly operate your business. All these years of business education, I want to translate that back and give back. I wouldn't be where I am today, as comfortable as I am today, if somebody wasn't there to help me and guide me and give me information. So I want to be able to do that for the next person. And I know it's not easy there's no real catch-all mentorship in any way. And I feel like this is a great way of giving back on just how do you look at different problems in different ways and come up with better solutions possibly. So about a few years ago, I started my doctorate in business program, which you don't hear a lot about. Most people stop at master's and MBA. You don't really need a doctorate, most people, right? But that's kind of been just one of my lifelong goals. I just always wanted to have Dr. Furrukh. So I wanted to jump in and I wanted to learn more. I realized throughout the years that education isn't really what to think, it's really about how to think. And I think that's the most important part is you learn how to think, you learn how to ask all the right questions, you learn really what is the best way to look at a problem and figure it out, whether it's for your own life, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, whether it's just something dumb like why does this table wobble. If you don't look in the right directions, if you don't ask the right questions, if you don't kind of have a basic understanding of what you're looking at, you really won't get too far and you'll keep running into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. When you realize it's just about asking the right questions. When we're kids, we're very curious. We are very into everything. We want to touch everything. We want to feel everything. We want to taste everything. And that's kind of what helps us learn. But as we grow older, we just kind of stop asking those questions. We stop touching and feeling and tasting. We just stop. We kind of just assume, oh, that's not meant for me. I'll move on. That's not meant for me. I'll move on. But in reality, if you just stop and ask more questions, if you probe more, you realize, wow, this is a great path for me. Maybe I should just do this instead. And this is me being introspective as well. I've asked a lot of questions about myself. I hate being in front of a camera. I've never enjoyed it. I've done public speaking many a times. I'm actually in a hotel room right now as I do this, right near Marymount University, where I just spoke about entrepreneurship. And that is very comfortable for me. This is very uncomfortable for me. This took at least 3 tries before I'm getting as comfortable as I am in front of this camera. But knowing that I'm getting out of my comfort zone, I'm going to upload this no matter how this goes. But I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to make sure I give you the best content I possibly can. I'm going to continue pushing forward to make sure that my education isn't wasted on just myself, but I give back to everybody the way I now feel comfortable. When I first was graduating high school, all I could ever imagine was making 30 grand in a given year. And I feel blessed to say that, that's a thought that has fleeted my mind entirely. I can make that plus 6 figures, plus multiple 6 figures in a given month on any given month. So yeah, you can really make a whole lot as long as you put in the effort. And my journey, I feel like it's going through asking those right questions and kind of shattering that expectation of like, this is the limit. No, it's not. This is not the limit. This is not the limit. This is not the limit. You can continue pushing forward and you never realize it because we get conditioned to a degree where we just have our understanding as this is our limit. This is our understanding. This is our life. When in reality, it's just, this is all we know at the moment. And until we ask all those other questions, we realize how much further we can possibly go. And literally there is no limit. If you really think about it, there are people doing things that we could only dream of, but they're doing it on a day-to-day. That is their normal life. And it's possible. That's why they're able to do it, right? So why not give it a go? Why not risk it? Why not give it a try? Whatever it is you're thinking about, give it a go, ask the right questions, and just continue pushing forward. I'm really excited to be on this journey myself, and I'm excited to have you along on this journey with me. I would love for you to tell me anything that you want to learn from someone like me, from my experience, from my education, and I'm going to do my best to keep it as real, clean cut as possible for you, and just kind of give you the real brass tacks of how to do things. I want to keep things practical. I don't want to bog you down in theory and big mumbo jumbo. I'm a very down to earth. I like to keep it simple, and I like to just communicate. I like to make sure we're on the same page. I'm not looking to in any way push my degrees or push all my education or push my entrepreneurship and just kind of keep people down. I want to unlock those gates for everybody as others have done for me, and help you realize that it's all possible. There is literally no barrier too big that you can't get over at all. So thank you very much for listening to my introduction, my rant, and I really hope you stick around on this channel. I will be doing my absolute best to be uploading once a week, every single week. And the more of you that join in on this, the more committed I will be. But regardless, you will see lots of content coming on this channel very, very soon. And thank you again. My name is Furrukh, soon to be, hopefully, Dr. Furrukh. And yeah, I hope you stick around. Thank you.